Hey guys, so what we're going to be going through today is making through a couple of wheels to be laser cut. So we've got one here that's got a bit more customized, one here is a bit more simple, and they're all standard sizes and stuff so they can fit together with the materials you're going to be getting in the Year 7 woodworking course, but obviously this can be applied for other people as well. And it's got a couple of good CAD skills involved in this as well. So we are on Autodesk Inventor, so this one just here. If you didn't know the program that we're using. So opening this one up, and you get presented with this screen here. Okay. If I want to create a new part, I go new, and standard millimeters IPT. So if these aren't all open, you might have to go templates, that one, metric, and then standard millimeters is the one that we're using. So now opening this up, it can take a second to actually load depending on your laptop or computer that you're using, and now we should have this workspace here. So if we start a sketch, so by pressing this part, don't press that part down there, this one, and we're selecting a plane. I always select the XZ plane, which is the top plane there. You might notice as well that my square cube over here is a little bit bugged, so hope that doesn't get too annoying. You can see exactly what I'm pressing on, but I have pressed on just top where it said top. So that I've got a nice flat plane here, and the first thing we're actually going to do is create a circle. So creating a circle, and this circle is going to be 65 millimeters, and press enter. Now you can kind of see how that circle is really small down there. So if I now press on top, zoom us in a little bit, so now we've got that there. So we're going to create a couple of constraints for this first simple wheel that we're making. So the first is that we need a 9.5 millimeter hole in the middle. So same process, 9.5, enter. Now when you're clicking on in the middle there, you need to make sure that green dot appears. Here in the middle of my crosshairs, it's gone green. It can go different colors, yellow or whatever, but we want it green in the middle so that way we know we've selected the middle. We need to create a couple more circles here, so I'm going to create another circle, and this circle is going to be 22.5, enter, and then my final circle is going to be, where are we, 52.5 I think, or 42, 52. It's going to be 52.5, enter. Okay, so essentially now if I zoom in a little bit, so what we're going to try to do is using these to create our, what am I trying to say, spokes or whatever we want to call them. So if we look back at these ones here, so we're creating where the kind of spokes are on our wheels, okay? So now the next thing we want to do is actually create a line, and what we're going to be doing for this line is... Now the beauty of this is it lines up with, and this is actually going to look different because I've improved the design from our previous one. See how, I'm trying to get it so it shows you exactly. See how that dotted line appears? So that dotted line should appear. I can then click on that and then come down. And we're going to be on a bit of an angle. So we don't want to go in the middle. We want to be on a little bit of an angle over here. You should let me go on a little bit of an angle like that. Now, before we change anything else, we're going to set a actual dimension to this bottom angle here, and we can do that by creating a line down the middle. I'm going to create a line down the middle there. And I do realize all these marks are getting a little bit, I might delete that one, are getting a little bit confusing, so we'll keep all these measurements over here. If I want a dimension here though, yeah, we'll leave it like that so you can see it a little bit better. Alright, so that's showing you all the sizes. So we've got there 9.5, the 22.5, 65 for the total, and 52.5. We want to add another dimension in here though. We're going from here to here. And for this one, we're going to add 3.5. Enter. And that's just confirming our angle. We can double check here. Is this giving us a nice number? Yeah, so it's giving us a nice number there because we're lining up on the edge of our 9.5. So if we go to here, we know that it's going to be half of 9.5, which is 4.75. So I might get rid of that just so it doesn't get too confusing. Now, there's different ways that we can do things. And the way I like to start doing this stuff is we're going to get rid of a few of these lines, and then we'll mirror this over, and then we'll make it do a circular pattern around. So now using the trim tool up here in the top middle, I'm going to click on that one, and I'm also going to click on this one. Okay, you can see here that the measurements are still the same because it's telling you the overall circumference of the circle that it was there. what we can do now is highlight. Oh, hang on. Before we highlight that, we need to trim some more lines. We're going to trim that line in the middle, and we might trim that one there as well. Okay, so now we've just got this kind of angled rectangle, and we can use the mirror tool. Now, as you might have noticed, already, I might exit that. So you see I've already selected it, so you need to make sure you make a box over it. If you start making that box a little bit too big, you might get some other stuff that you don't need. You want to make sure you just get that weird rectangle that we've made, okay? And then if we now use the mirror tool, we already need to select anything, so you just go over here to mirror. We can press on this line there and go apply and done. So you can see how that's there. Now, if I want to get rid of this, I can, so I'll delete that. We can highlight that one there, and we can go over to our circular tool. Now, we've already got our geometry, so I don't want to click on that, because if I click on that circle, it would have just add to our geometry. We've got green selected, so I'm going to go over to the red one, and see how it's gone yellow, so we know exactly what we've selected, and I can press on, well, I can press on this circle or that circle, it doesn't matter, so I'll press on this circle. Now, you can see there, we've gone with 6 different cutouts for our spokes. We could go for 7. We could go, I think 8 is going to be a little bit close, but you could go with 8. I might leave it at 8. You can see there we do have some little gaps, so that's kind of, if we're cutting this out on the laser cutter out of wood, we probably want to leave a bit bigger gaps. So odd numbers do look better than even numbers, so you'd probably want to be going with 5 or 7 with what you're going with, so I'm going to go OK to that. So now we've done that, we can extrude this out and make it 3-dimensional. So if we go 3D model, we're going to go extrude. And now, see here, we've got a new panel come up. We want to click on this. Now, you see how all the parts are red? I don't want to be clicking in here. All right, those are our cutouts that we made. We want to be clicking on the actual whole face of it and making that come up. Now, the only other thing we need to type is, I don't think it's going to work, 19. If you need to click in there and type it, you can. And then go OK. Whoops, I pressed on the wrong part. So press on the corner. So looking at it like that, it looks pretty cool. But yeah, that's our super duper basic wheel that we want to make to be laser cut out. Now, if I want to go a little bit further with this, to make it be able to laser cut, and this might be the file that you have to send to your teacher, or the file you put on a USB to then have put into the laser cutter. So you want to right click on this, and you go to export face as. And you see here we're in my Inventor dumping ground where I dump most of my YouTube video stuff. You can go toy wheel. And then preferably you'd go with your name, so I'd be like Miss Laxton, so that way the teacher knows whose work they're saving. So that's actually just saving that face, and so when the laser cutter cuts it out, it can cut directly on all of those lines. Now, hopefully everyone's been able to do this. Now, if you've done it really quickly, I want you guys to be able to go that little bit of a step further, which you might have seen on my other drawing as well with the love heart. So if we go new over here, and if you've selected this correctly before, it should just be able to go to metric, standard millimeters, and then go create. Now, so it's doing a new drawing. So it's up there in the top left in the start 2D sketch. Pressing on our top plane, so we've got top coming up. We're going to rotate it around so top's written the right way. Same process as before with our 65, so wait until that goes green and making our 65, enter. We're going to click on top again to zoom in. We're going to make another circle that is 9.5, enter. So we've got our basics there set up again. So now there's obviously a lot of different shapes you could make. So you could do circles, you could do flames if you were really, really keen, or you could do stars or love hearts. So I'm going to show you, we'll quickly do a love heart and show you how to circulate that around as well. So, but we're trying to keep it kind of even and spaced the same. So that's all the important parts. So now if I go long, no, we're going to go into some more circles. So similar to before though, so if we go 22.5, enter, and we do another one at 52.5, enter, and we leave it like that. So we've got this area here that we know we're going to want to put our, can I move you? No. Let's quickly dimension that again. We'll put it in a better spot. Cool. So we're going to be working up in this section again. So we've got our different areas here that we want to work with to create our love heart. So if I'm going to do that, I'm going to work from here. And so if I go, say, line, I might go, are we going to go big love heart or a little love heart? I might go a big love heart. I'm going to create a line across there, okay? And then what I'm going to do is create a arc. Make that arc go up into there. I'm going to type 6 and press enter. Okay, so now we've got a nice little top circle part of the love heart. Now I need to create another line. I'm going to go down to here. Okay, so now this love heart's looking a little bit rough at the moment. It's a bit pointy in the edge there, but it's all going to kind of turn out a little. So we're just going to delete that one. We're going to create a line from here to here. And the same process before, just selecting very carefully half of our love heart. We're going to go mirror. Select our mirror line because we don't need to select anything else. And then go apply, done, or you could just go done, would probably be quicker. Now, there's different things you could do in terms of this. So if you want to shrink it or make it smaller or bigger, you can do it that way. It's quite hard, like as you saw, it kind of jumps a little bit. It does like its measurements. If we want to dimension things, so if it's from there to there and we don't want it that big, we could go down to maybe 18. Let's see how that works. So the same kind of thing, moving itself over. If we want to, say, move it back, we can highlight it, use the move tool, select the base point, yes, and we can move it back in the middle. But I was actually quite happy with how it was. We're going to go with a nice big one. So we'll leave it like that, and that'll be fine. So we've got that there. Might delete this middle line. We're going to highlight our love heart now. It doesn't see how, so if I select it like that, it won't select these top arcs. We need to select the entire thing there. Other things we could be doing now as well, though, is actually deleting some of these circles that we don't need. And then I guess you can kind of look and see how you think your love heart is looking, and I might be like, oh, I need this to stretch down a little bit more, which I do. So now we're going to highlight that again. Sorry, and we're going to go use the circular tool. Remember, we've got our geometry pre-selected, and it's all green, so we need to select that yellow one. Select that there, and this one's going for 6, and we'll go OK. You can see there it's saying 360, so it's circled all the way around. And the final thing we do, 3D model, extrude. And we're going to select that middle section there. Maybe we're going to make this 19 and go OK. So now if I make that go straight again, you see we've got our love heart wheel there as well. Now, if you want to change that a little bit, so making it a little bit smoother. So some of the stuff we could be doing this, if I use the fillet tool and I use it on the edge and made it curved, right? So like that, which looks pretty cool, right? That's actually going to make a difference because we're cutting on a 2D plane. So we're just looking at kind of the top section, looking down, and it's cutting along these lines, okay? So that's how the laser cutter works. The one thing we could do, though, is if I zoom in, we could use the fillet tool on the insides of here to make it look a little bit more... Oh, are you going to twist for me? There we go. A little bit more love heart shape. So I might take that from 2, make it 4, and go okay. So if we have a look now, so we started off with quite a rough love heart shape, and now look at that. So it's actually looking absolutely fantastic. So you would have to go around though. So if you're using the fillet tool, we'd have to go around selecting all of the different ones. Where's another one? So it's going to take you a second. It's one of those things that I'm kind of doing this part of the video for those kids that want to get kind of like an A grade as opposed to other people doing kind of the bare minimum, if that makes sense. So if you are aiming for those bit higher grades, definitely doing this stuff and being able to understand it, add it to your learning portfolio and things is really, really important. Let's go over here. Oh my gosh. So take a little bit of filling, and just again using this, the little cube up top, which I could just be clicking on like that. That one there. So you can kind of see I want 2 on each. So we've done, well, I can actually double check from the front. Oh no, I can't. Go on that angle. We've got 2 there, 2 there. Haven't quite done 2 there. I think we haven't done 2 over there either. And we'll go okay. Let's have a double check. You'll tell that you haven't done because there'll be big pointy bits on the love hearts as well. But so we've done that one there, which looks a bit cooler. You could do stars. You could do like I said before, flames. So if you want to do some flames with the arc tool going up and then you smooth them out like this, you can. So same process as well though. So if I right click on that, export face as, we're going to put in here. So we could go toy wheel part Mr. Flashing. So making sure you're putting your name and what it is. So save that one. So you can see there that we've got a couple of different wheels that you guys are going to be able to make. And just thing as well, so while most of this we do kind of want similar, you can always right click back on here, edit sketch. I can always edit some of this stuff as well. So if I press Control Z, whoa, we don't want to go there. We go to here. Or actually, I might redo that. Keep that so it still looks cool. We might go here to edit sketch. So if you do want to edit any of these things, you can. And you see here, if I edit the top one, it edits all of the other ones as well. Sketch. And you see that I've made that a little bit more open. So there is different ways you can alter it. So look good. Something like that's a lot easier than like I was showing you before, editing the heart and moving things around. So I guess that's why this is where you can get your C grade and pass. Whereas over here, if you're going a bit above and beyond, you can get that A grade. So hopefully this has been helpful, and you guys can be able to do this quite easily and get some really cool laser cut products.